Do you know what's better than winning? Winning more than once. Winning consistently. And that's called having a champion mindset. We tend to focus on getting the victory, but we often neglect what happens after the win. And that can cause problems. Repeated winning involves the following. It's important to redevelop your accountability with leveling up on both the discipline and the responsibility. So how do you do that? Well, repeated success isn't about talent and experience. It's about mindset. The best performers think differently. They don't think. It's actually the absence of thought and emotion. And that's their advantage because they don't get into their heads. The mental game counts, regardless if it's sports or business. The mind controls the body. So the starting place is becoming conscious of your own thought processes. So let me give you an example. Take a bodybuilder going into the Olympia. Now, if you're that bodybuilder and you have a specific one in mind that you're going against on certain poses, and you have that in your head, you carry that with you. And you could feel very inadequate in those areas compared to your rival. So wanting to win is one thing, but knowing and believing it is quite another. Now there's something called the bounce back factor. So a bodybuilder can have a lot of confidence going into a show and not win. So how do you get back into it? Remind yourself that everyone has a bad day. Ask any GOAT in any sport if they're perfect all the time. They're not. Everyone has a bad day. Bounce back is realizing that that's not going to happen again, and you're going to do what's within your control to get back on track. So a successful mindset is you actually welcome the failure, whereas most people actually, they dread it. They do whatever they can to avoid failure. A successful mindset is staying present regardless of what happens. Keep in mind, when you're not doing well, how do you react? Do you give up? Do you still keep fighting? So let me give you some strategies. So it is important to enjoy what you're doing. Remember where you came from and keep perspective, because we're not just born to win. We may have a lot of winning qualities about us, but this is something we have to work at. It's also important to know why you win when you do win and why you lose when you lose. Because if you know those factors, then it's possible to win again. There's also the belief in yourself. So believing in yourself and thinking you're the best is actually a little different. If you think you're the best, that's when you lose, because you lose your edge. Having a strong system in place to ensure you continually work both hard, both in and out of the gym, is important. And thinking positively rather than focusing on what you will gain or what you will lose. You got to enjoy being there. Whatever you do in life, not just bodybuilding. You have to go for it and try to make a difference. You stay on track with what has worked. As you guys well know, it's important to be well rested, both physically and mentally, so we can put our best game forward. It's also important to avoid accepting the pressure of other people's expectations. Now, this is easier said than done. I can probably do a separate video on that alone. Another strategy is basically create new challenges. And this will help you become more mentally prepared for the unexpected. When you constantly challenge yourself, even if you're not prepared for that challenge, your mind is ready. And this is part of the bounce back to come back from whatever unknown obstacle might present itself. It's important to keep the desire sharp and in the forefront of your mind. Know what is and what isn't important. It's important also to create a system for dealing effectively with the demands that you're facing. When you set a goal, focus on what you have to do to get there rather than just the end result. This helps keep you keep perspective. Answer the question, why am I doing this? we get to a point where we get some frustrated throughout the process, and we have to understand why. If you don't love the sport, you might want to step back. Now, high levels of success. This can create additional demands for any high-performance athlete. And it can, with these high levels of success, can lead to a decline in performance unless you put a system into place to, one, learn to control expectations from yourselves and others, and two, learn to control external demands such as the social media, public appearances, sponsorship responsibilities. Because if athletes don't achieve some positive personal control over those areas, something's going to suffer. Their quality of their training, their rest, their focus, and ultimately their performance. So the problem with the pressures of expectations is being outcome-oriented rather than process-oriented. So outcome-oriented is when athletes are overly concerned with the results or others' expectations or what social media is saying. And that actually serves as a distraction, and then the athlete performs below their capabilities. A winning focus consists of having a strong belief in your ability. Despite the distractions, despite others' expectations, you have a total focus on the task. And being mentally prepared, not only to win, but also to deal with the after effects of success. Now, this is really important because success increases your exposure to various people and opportunities, increases expectations from yourself and other people, and increased demands on the athlete's time. Now, this can be negative. Success can be negative in that the expectations and demands can pull an athlete's focus away from what allowed them to become exceptional. Exceptional athletes should become aware of what to expect when at the top. So knowing what to expect and planning accordingly can help you deal with the changing realities of what life was like before you started winning to when you start to win and when you start to win repeatedly. Athletes can avoid experiencing major performance declines after big wins if they know what to expect and have a well thought out plan to deal effectively with the changing expectations. It's that whole, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Now, this also includes planning to continue respecting the need for quality training, quality rest and personal space, and having a plan and commitment to carry one's personal best performance focus into following competitions. Another strategy is setting priorities. This is based on personal needs and preparing to avoid, minimize, or refocus when distractions arise, because they always will. And these are critical steps for athletes to stay in control of their life and performance at the top level. Mental game coaches like myself can help with the implementation of these strategies. So I'm outlining them, but sometimes to apply them can be tricky. So that's where mental coaches like myself, we can help athletes fine-tune based on their personal challenges and what they can do. So just to quickly summarize, future champions can better prepare themselves to cope with the additional demands which accompany winning by becoming more aware of what the demands are by drawing upon coping techniques that have previously worked for them. By talking with other top-level athletes who have also faced these demands to basically get the benefit of their experiences, and by working with mental game coaches. So if you've learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below of what resonated with you. Also, if you have any questions about anything that's mentioned in this video, please leave me in a comment below. Also, I'm very open to other suggestions for ideas for videos. Again, my target audience is going to be the bodybuilders and athletes. So I want you guys to let me know what you're looking for, because there's not many platforms out there that are specifically tailored for athletes with the mental game piece. Now, I also have another video for you guys to watch, and it's called The Fear of Success. So I'll make sure that that's included in this video too. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you have any questions, again, or suggestions, please comment below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Take care, and remember, keep your mental game on.